Alright, well, I've been struggling with dealing with my emotions for a while, and I'm just going to try out different methods, and this video is going to be one of them. This might not go on YouTube. I don't know if it will. Like, I really have no idea. But I think just talking to a camera about what's going on inside will, like, somewhat clear up the, I guess, emotional blockage. Maybe. Don't know if that's the right thing to call it. I should probably center this. That's better. So, yeah, I've been having quite a lot of trouble with, like, different key aspects of, like, humans, like what humans should do. Things like letting go. I've written this all down, by the way, in a notebook, like, just to keep me on track, because I tend to kind of like trail off and just start talking about completely different topics midway through, like when I'm just talking to people. So this is just keeping me grounded. But what was I? Letting go. I've been struggling with this a lot. I don't really know how to let go. I've never been taught it. I've never really had to, like, until recently, when things have happened, and I've just been really struggling with it. I don't know what to do at all. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I've tried lots of methods. This video is going to be a bit samey. It's just talk about different topics. I don't know what to do, explaining a little bit about them, and then kind of what I think helps me. So recently I've been getting better at it, and what I've also been doing is, like, I've been trying new things. Like, I went to a youth club and met new people, which was really fun, and I'm probably going to do that again this Friday, because I feel like a good way of letting go and, like, moving on is just to dive into a new activity. I think just completely surround yourself with noise, with new people, with new activities, and you don't really have the time to think about what you need to let go. And that's something that, at least recently, has really helped me kind of move on. And I've hit quite a big milestone today. Once again, I'm not going to get into it. I don't even think anyone's going to be watching this, but yeah, it's kind of quite personal, so I think I'll leave that out. But it's evidence that what I'm doing is working, and I think the big thing is meeting new people kind of gets rid of memories of old ones, if that makes sense, and just helps you let go fully. I'm not good at it. I've never been, like, a social butterfly. I've kind of kept to myself quite a lot. I'm more introverted. I, like, prefer being by myself a lot of the time. Obviously there are a few exceptions, like with close friends and whatnot, but if I had to pick between going to, like, a party with loads of people, just loads of stimulation, and, like, staying home, I prefer to stay home, definitely. But this is another thing that I'm kind of worried about, and I actually have panic attacks about quite regularly. Like, it's a problem, but I'm gonna beat it. I will beat it. I just need to find a way and then I'll beat it. So yeah, I've kind of got a method. I've got, like, a routine now for when I get them. What I do is I just crawl onto my sofa, I curl up into a little ball, and I just stay in, like, a fetal position and just breathe in for 3, out for 3, and that helps. It doesn't get rid of it, it doesn't help deal with the problem, but that's my way of managing it and making it not like hell, because I've had them so bad I genuinely thought I was going to die in them. Like, I thought my heart was just going to stop beating because it was just going so fast, like, and my ears were ringing, and it was a horrible experience. But I think I'm better with it now. I don't really know how to tell, but I haven't felt really bad in a long time. Recently though, I've kind of, the universe feels like against me, just no matter what I do. I've gotten ill, I've injured my foot today, so I'm just kind of resting it right now, resting it on a pillow under my desk, and I've lost my keys. I still haven't got them back. I've been very stressed with schoolwork that I should be getting done now, that I'm not really helping my stress, and I should be. It's just quite hard to kind of deal with it. Once again, I've never really learned how to deal with this stuff. I guess most people think like it comes naturally, and it really doesn't. But it's definitely not an excuse. I can do more to help myself, but I often like refuse help because I don't feel like I should take that attention from other people. I don't really feel worthy of it, and that's kind of held me back quite a lot, because I could be a lot further right now ahead in life, just generally, if every once in a while, like, I just kind of went to people and said I need help. I could be a lot further ahead, and once again I'm working on it, but I feel like I've got so much to work on right now that it's kind of just all like overwhelming my head, and the fact that I've got so much to do is kind of not making me do any of it at all, because it's all there. And yeah, it's just kind of, my mind is loud recently. And then I also don't like when my mind is silent, because silence just makes you feel weird. Like, it doesn't feel normal. I feel like a lot of people nowadays are very comfortable with being called introverts, because they've got these devices to like fill their mind with noise, just constantly, like YouTube, Spotify, TikTok, stuff like that. It all just kind of puts voices into your head that aren't really there, and like tricks your brain into just kind of tricks your brain to imagining that they actually are there. I'm getting off topic again. When life gets you down. Yes, I've been quite down recently. I feel like I've got things that I don't deserve, even though I might deserve them. But I think when life gets you down, you have to keep a good attitude, no matter what, and everything else will follow. Because if you kind of give in and act like all sad and mopey and all of that around, and like all the people around you will just not want to be with you, and therefore you won't get any help, and like you won't get any socialization and support. So it's kind of, I feel like for some people it's a bit of an esoteric rule, like they don't realise being happy moves you forward, and being sad isn't a cool thing at all. So you have to keep a good mindset and just appreciate the like gracious gift of life, because you might not be here tomorrow, Like, you could just die in your sleep. You never know. You can never know. It can just happen. It has happened millions of times, probably billions. Yeah. So no matter what, always try and wake up and feel grateful that you're still here. That's definitely the most important thing to do when, like, it just doesn't feel like you can do anything. If you can't find help or do anything to make yourself feel better, you have to at least try and just smile in the morning. And I think even that small act can just snowball throughout the day into slightly bigger acts of, like, happiness. Even if it's only once in a blue moon, it still helps. So that's my take on that. What else? I haven't talked enough about the fear of missing out, I don't think. So when I was younger, and still kind of up to this day, I didn't really say yes to experiences I should have. And yeah, I feel kind of set back in life after that. Like, I've had the opportunity to go on a ski trip recently, just this past winter, and I said no. And I'm really regretting it, because I feel like I could have met a lot of people that I wouldn't normally have, and that I didn't. So yeah, that's kind of a bad move on my part. Generally, I now would say yes to almost anything someone asks me to do, just so when I'm old and I look back on my teenage years, I can kind of think, oh, that's a cool memory. Oh, I'm really glad I did that, instead of just sitting in my room playing games or, like, watching YouTube all day, trying to pretend that you're not alone, but you really are. Instead, you can actually get to do stuff. And I feel really kind of annoyed and kind of pissed off at myself that I said no to everything I did when I was younger. Yeah, because I would have found a lot more interest as well. Like, I feel like when people nowadays ask me about my hobbies, I can't say much, because I don't have many. I mean, I play badminton, I do piano sometimes, I like doing card tricks, that's quite cool, and woodwork, but yeah, I could be just way, like, cooler at shit if I was, like, just a little bit more, what's the word, curious, I guess, when I was younger, like, willing to try new things. And that would have led to me getting a lot more friends, and therefore I would have had a lot more people to invite me on new things. It's just like a positive feedback loop. It goes over and over, you keep getting better and better. And it's like the famous saying, was it, to the people who are rich, more is given, to the people who are poor, more is taken. So, like, positive feedback loops and negative feedback loops. But at the end of the day, you can't just look back on it and be sad. The past is in the past. Like, it is what it is. Can't do anything about it. Yeah, centre this a bit more. I'm not sure what else I have to say about what's happened recently. It's been feeling a bit mundane, kind of, lately. I think it's good to have, like, routines, but if you just have the same routine every day over and over and over, the days can kind of blend into one, and then you suddenly blink and, like, a year has passed and you're just the same person. Like, you're completely the same. Probably the same financially, socially, psychologically, physiologically. It's just, yeah, not much changes. Like, nothing changes if nothing changes, I guess. You have to do something new if you want to get a result that you haven't got before. That's the only way, and it's kind of hard to remember that. Like, you should try as many new experiences as you can. Definitely. Yeah. I definitely should have tried more stuff. But I mean, it's all gone now. Not much you can do. Yeah, it's kind of all gone. But you have to try and remember that all your past experiences made you who you are today. And you wouldn't be the person you are if you didn't experience what you did. So it's just kind of a thought that's been running through my mind a lot. Like, even though I'm not happy with where I am, I still feel like life has so much more to give. I still feel lucky, or I still feel happy with my past self, that I at least did some things that made me who I am today. Like, for example, getting into badminton, I've made loads of new friends. I go on long tournaments for days and like meet new people and just have so much fun. And it's really good for you physiologically as well, and psychologically. Like, I just play with the biggest smile on my face apparently, and then every time I start talking about badminton, I just get a massive smile. So that's one thing I'm glad I picked up. It's gone on for 17 minutes. Not sure what much more. Not sure there's much more I have to say. Just remember to appreciate life, and it's very important to figure out how to let go of people and things. I've always been bad at it because when I was younger I used to hoard things. Like, try to remember, I hoarded Beyblades, like even the little crappy like tiny ones that were awful. And it wasn't that I used them or anything, or like I wanted to keep them for memories. I just couldn't bring myself to let go of them and throw them away, because I felt just like I felt sick every time I did think about throwing them away. And I'm better with that now. I would like, that doesn't happen anymore, but it's kind of carried over to more serious situations, and yeah, I need to find a way to deal with it. But I think just talking to a camera like this helps. I'm probably not being that articulate or like cohesive right now, just because my mind is in a massive mess and it's just very loud. I'm just trying to get every thought out that I can, just to kind of quieten it down so I can sleep in a minute. But I'm kind of all there. It's just, I think what makes me not be able to sleep very well, because I thought I had insomnia when I was younger because I couldn't sleep, and it was from anxiety. So yeah, anxiety was kind of a bitch and messed up my sleep schedule. I used to have these massive dark rings around my eyes, or whether people would tell me like, oh, you look like you're on drugs and whatever, and that kind of hurt. But I found out that the way I can sleep is just if I'm exhausted. Like, I need to be sore. To this day, I don't sleep well at all. Like, if people ask, I'll say yeah, just to avoid any questions and comments on it, and like asking, oh, why, because I don't really know. I think it's just my mind is so full of like thoughts running through my head all the time. Even when I'm trying to sleep, I can't shut it off. Like, it's just kind of overwhelming. And things like cuddling a pillow help a little, a tiny bit, but It's kind of just the way it is. Yeah. I'm gonna end it now. I might do more of these, depending on if I feel they help. Maybe. I'm not sure though. I don't know if it will help, but it's good to try. Just see what works for me. You can only see what works if you try. Yeah. Thanks for listening.